Hey, shalom, 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 lakam, which is peace unto you all. Hi, Rob Tawab, la atam za'akyakam yawam, man rachagadar Charlotte, which is good evening. This is your brother Yuan from the GMS camp in Charlotte. Nacham atam kaya hamalakwat hashamayim kwara, repent ye for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Call layim la abanawi yahweh bahasham yahusha bahasham racha kwadash, wa mashanala zakwanim nawa, wa malakim shaw rachagadar, which is all praises to our Father Yahweh, which means to exist, Bahasham, in the name Yahweh delivers, and double honor to those and apostles of Red Millstone. All right, so this is another edition of Hadabar Shah Hayawam, and pretty much going into the number 4, which I got pulled up right here. I'm gonna go back. It's Arabai. All right, and it says 4. It says 4 used 361 times or 316 times. It has a root word of rabbi, and I actually want to touch on this root word, but I'm gonna go into this real fast. And it says rabbi, which is 4. Rabbi, bahalashwan kwadash wa baha ibarya atazaman, which is Hebrew with the times, which that would be modern Hebrew. So I got it in the Paleo and in the Assyrian, but it says 4 is mercy. It says first, coming before all others in order. It says Ra'ash, which is the head. Then you got the Ba, which is Bayath, is the house, and Ayan, which is your eye, and that shows and you can see resemblances. So when you break this word down, it will be first head of the house resemblance. All right, and we'll get some understanding on that. Lord's will, Adonai Tazah. All right, and it says Rabbi. It says a primitive root, rather identical with Rabbi, through the idea of sprawling at all fours, or reverse it, or possibly the reverse is the order of derivative, and it says Rabbi, the idea of sprawling at all fours. All right, so what it means by sprawling at all fours is essentially from the center. I'm gonna get the definition of sprawling. All right, this is the definition of sprawl, and it says to lie with arms or legs spread out, because you got 1, 2, 3, 4 arms and legs. All right, then it says to spread or develop irregularly or without restraint. Now I'm gonna go to the synonyms of sprawl, and it's gonna give us some more. And it says as in to extend outwards from, or as if from a central point. You see, and what will be the central point of a body? All right, the central point of a body will be the trunk, and it says the main stem of a tree apart from the limbs and roots. It says the human or animal body part from the head, neck, and appendages, torso, the central part of anything. All right, so going back. Oh, then I got for it says coming before all others in time, order, earliest, first. It says foremost in position, rank, or importance, which we understand that will be Yahweh Shah. And we're touching on number 4, and that also represents Yahweh Shah. And we can prove that in the scriptures. But let me go back. And it says, properly to be four-sided, used only as diminutive of to be quadrate. And I got the definition of quadrate right here. And it says another term for quadratus, salak, roughly square or rectangular, to make square. It says approximately square or cubical area, space, or body. So pretty much to have 4 of something. All right. So nevertheless, continuing on, let's go to this. Also got written down right here. It says, which I'm not. I got, this is the definition for trunk. It says the main woody stem of a tree as distinct from the roots and branches. Not sure if I read that, but just to reiterate, but I'm gonna get this real fast because it's the same thing as a trunk. Or as a vine. So we'll get this real fast. Which we got the definition of sprawl. It says to extend outwards from as from a central point. All right, and this is John chapter 1 or John chapter 15, and we'll get verse 1. And we'll get the definition of vine. And it says, vine, it says, and that of a vine as coiling about a support. It says vine, all right? Let me get the definition of vine real fast. It says vine. It says a climbing or traily woody stemmed plant of the grape family. All right. And it says, it's a lot. All right, we got the definition of vine. And it says a plant. It says a plant whose stem requires support, which climbs by tendrils or twining or creeps along the ground, the stem of such a plant. All right. And then it says any of various sprawling herbaceous plants, such as a tomato or potato, that lack specialized adaptations for climbing. You see, so sprawling, it's a sprawling plant. And that's the definition that I want to get, because 4 was the definition, or the main idea of the number 4. And it comes from Rabbi, and it says, through the idea of sprawling at all fours. If you was to stretch out both of your hands and both of your feet, if you was to actually make a shape with that, that would be something that would that was like four-sided. And that's because of the sprawling, you see. So a vine is something that sprawls out, and that's essentially what Yahweh Shah does. And that's the relation to 4 and Yahweh Shah, which all the alphabet is related to Yahweh Shah, But let me get this real fast. Just going into the definition of that vine, and it says in John 15:1, it says Hamashayak calls himself a vine because as the vine imparts to its branches sap and productiveness, so Hamashayak infuses into his followers his own divine strength and life. All right. So continuing on, it says John 15:1, and that's essentially the position that Yahweh Shah has. We can't do anything without Yahweh Shah. And what's I'll read this first. It says, I am the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman. Let's see what this word husbandman says. It says the tiller of the soil, a vine dresser, a land worker. All right. So it says, I am the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman. Every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away. Every branch that beareth fruit, he purgeth it, that it may bring forth more fruit. So when you go into purging, essentially, when you purge something, the scriptures say that the elect will be tried as gold in a fire. So being purged is being cleansed. All right. It says that it may bring forth more fruit, continue to grow, because the vine, the ultimate job of that vine, right, or of a vine in like physical actual vine. It says a healthy vine can have a productive lifespan of over 50 years, producing an incredible crop of grapes harvest after harvest. All right, and the elect is likened to the grape of the cluster. All right, and it says, I am the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman. Every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away, and every branch that beareth fruit, he purgeth it, that it may bring forth more fruit. Now ye are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you. All right, let me get a quick precept. This is Tahoyim Psalm chapter 119. In verse 9, it says, wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way? By taking heed thereto according to thy word. All right, by ultimately abiding in Yahweh Shai. All right, one will become clean. All right, and it says, now ye are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you. Abide in me, and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit of itself, except it abide in the vine, no more can ye, except ye abide in me. You see, so the branch can't ultimately survive without that vine, because again, going back into a job of a vine, that essentially helps the fruit to be actually productive. A branch of a tree is just a branch of the tree. It has to have the trunk, the support of the tree. All right, that's what's going to push forth the food and the however trees eat. They kind of get the stuff, the nutrients out of the ground. That's how the branches are able to bring forth them leaves and stuff like that. So continuing on, going back, it says, abide in me, and I in you, as the branch cannot bear fruit of itself, except it abide in the vine, no more can ye, except ye abide in me. I am the vine, ye are the branches. He that abideth in me, and I in him, the same bringeth forth much fruit. For without me ye can do nothing, you see. And that's essentially because, Yahweh Shai represents the express image of the scriptures. He is the scriptures, We have to abide in Yahweh Shai, which essentially entails of living when the scriptures say conversation, is talking about essentially manner of life, so walking in the manner of life of Yahweh Shai, that's abiding in the vine. And it says, if a man abide not in me, he is cast forth as a branch and is withered, and men gather them and cast them into the fire, and they are burned. If ye abide in me, my words abide in you, the manner of life, ye shall ask what ye will, and it shall be done unto you according to the Lord's will, So I'm gonna get another precept. This is Romans chapter 12. We'll get verse 4, and it says, for as we have many members in one body, and all members have not the same office, so we being many are one body in Hamashayak, and every one members one of another. You see, so we're the body of Yahweh Shai. He's that chief cornerstone. He's that central access. All right, that central access point. All right. And going back to the vine, a vine sprawls out. Going back to the definition of vine, it said a sprawling herbaceous plant. All right. And that's essentially how them grapes is able to grow. I'm going to get that real fast. This is Salah. This is Second Ezra chapter 9 and verse 21. It says, and I saw and spared it greatly, and have kept me a grape of the cluster and a plant of a great people, talking about Yasha'Allah, those great people. But the grape of the cluster is talking about the elect. Let the multitude perish in which was born in vain, and let my grape be kept in my plant, for with great labor have I made it perfect. You see, so going back to John chapter 15, it was verse 2. It says, every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away, and every branch that beareth fruit, every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away, and every branch that beareth fruit, he purgeth it. All right, purgeth, that word purgeth goes into essentially to make perfect. All right, it says cleanse. It says prune. It says to expiate, to prune, to cleanse. All right, which essentially goes into this being made perfect right here. It says, for with great labor have I made it perfect. All right. And the elect is going to be, made perfect through the Spirit, by believing on Yahweh Shai, which is that true vine. All right. But this is Romans chapter 12. We'll get verse 4, and it says, Salah. Wanted to get First Corinthians chapter 12 and verse 27, and it reads, now ye are the body of Hamashayak, and members in particular. All right, again, going back into how we have the body of Yahweh Shai. We can't none of this is of ourselves. We're not doing anything of ourselves. In order for one to be delivered, we would have to abide in Yahweh Shai, which will represent that vine, So I'm gonna get this, just expounding on that point. This is Philippians chapter 4. We get verse 13. It says, I can do all things through Hamashayak, which strengtheneth me. All right, because we abide in Yahweh Shai, we can do all things through the faith. All right, through the faith of Yahweh Shai, we can do all things. All right. So I'm gonna get this as well. This is John chapter 10 and verse 9, because again we went into the number 4, Rabbi, and it said the first head of the house resemblance. All right, and which that's the number 4. 4 goes into mercy, you see, because 4 ultimately represent Yahweh Shai, because he's essentially the one that sprawls out like that. He's that vine. All right, the number 4 sprawls out into the 4 sides. That's where you get squares. The word for square, Bahalashwan Kwadash, will be Rabbi All right, that's to be squared, to be quadrate. All right, but the true one that spreads out, all right, that spreads himself, that vine will be Yahweh Shai. All right, this is John chapter 10 and verse 9, and it says, I am the door. By me, if any man enter in, he shall be saved, and shall go in and out and find pasture. All right, I'm going to get 2 words. I'm going to get that word for pasture. It says he shall growth, increase. Going back to what we got previously. Growth and increase, productivity. It says, figuratively, he shall not want the needful supplies for true life. You see, because again, that vine, that supplies the necessary things for them fruits to come forth, the grapes to come forth. All right, just like with the tree, all right, the branches, they're able to bring forth them leaves. You see, because they're ultimately getting that nourishment from the trunk, you know. So let me go back. Let me get that word for door. And it says the vestibule, used of any opening like a door, entrance way, or a passage to. It says the door through which sheep go in and out, the name of him who brings salvation to those who follow his guidance. You see, because and what's spiritual about that as well is like when you follow the vine, all right, ultimately on that specific vine, you're gonna find them different grapes. You're gonna find grapes. And it says portal or entrance. All right. So Yahweh Shah is that access, you know, the straight gate. You have to go through Yahweh Shah, the way that was established through the Spirit. All right. Let me get this. This is Ephesians chapter 2 and verse 1. It says, and you hath he quickened, look right here, top of the chapter, made alive in Hamashayak. And you hath he quickened who were dead in trespasses and sins, wherein time past ye walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air, the spirit now with worketh in the children of disobedience. All right, to be quickened is to be made alive. All right, we're made alive through Yahweh Shah Hamashayak, you know, because we was dead in trespasses and sins. Pretty much we were living a life of deceit, you know, being in that gross darkness mentioned in Isaiah, the 60th chapter. So it says, among whom also we all had our conversation in time past, in the lust of our flesh, fulfilling the desires of the flesh and of the mind, and were by nature the children of wrath, even as others. So we was fulfilling whatever we wanted to do. You know, Jake was into, you know, rap, sports, you know, whatever, you know, chasing the bag. So it says, but the Most High, who is rich in mercy, for his great love wherewith he loved us, even when we were dead in sins, hath quickened us together with Hamashayak. By grace ye are saved. All right. It says, it's all by grace. It's by the goodwill of the Most High. All right. And it says, hath raised us up together and made us sit together in heavenly places in Hamashayak Yahweh Shai, that in the ages to come he might shew the exceeding riches of his grace and kindness toward us through Hamashayak Yahweh Shai. All right, through. What does that definition for through mean? And it says in by. All right, and if we went back to this right here, it's a lot. If we went back to John chapter 10 and verse 9, it said door. All right. It said door. It says door right here. It says entrance, passage, pretty much access, opening, a portal, an entrance. All right. And what's spiritual about a door is it's stretched out. You know, it has 4 sides. And Yahweh Shah will be that, he'll be spiritually. All right. And he's that door. All right. And also he's the one that stretches out like that vine. All right. He's the one that he is how we are able to receive mercy. And that's why 4 goes into mercy. So Adawan Tazaza Banaya Paulo is what does a beautiful edification through the spirit. Wa Adawan Tazah. Atam Yash Layla Tawabi, Lord's will. You all have a good night. Wa Shalom Lakam, which is peace unto you all. Shalom.